Almost a year ago, Bryson traded an old dirt bike for this car that was stuffed into the corner of a small garage about 20 miles from here. It was torn into pieces. I think the prior owner had tried to get it to run, but eventually he gave up on it. We loaded it onto a U-Haul trailer and dragged it home. He's been pretty excited about it. I cannot even begin to describe the emotional roller coaster that we have been riding for the last several months. We started out excited to do something completely different and new. Our enthusiasm quickly waned as we realized that some of the engine pieces were non-salvageable, and replacement parts are very difficult to come by. We were excited to find an engine at a junkyard that we figured would provide some parts inventory for us, and we drove 100 miles each way to go get it. We picked up power steering parts and a few other things while we were there from the same donor car. We were devastated to learn that turbo rotaries and naturally aspirated rotaries have very little in common. The irons are different, the rotors are different, the case is different. There seems to be more differences than similarities between these engines. We were thrilled to find a local shop that deals almost exclusively in rotary engines. They had some engine parts and some expertise that we really desperately needed.
And you're filming? I like it.
Oh, see that?
You know, that's great.
So
top
there's
dead,
a
there's a notch
that you can
in
feel
this.
with your fingernail in the pulley that lines up with that indicator.
And then you'll slide this on, and I try and just center this. Once that's centered, this is
Then you're
your
in range
timing
anyway.
here.
Okay.
In the end, we decided to have them build the engine block for us. We were elated to finally pick up the engine and take it home. We wasted no time installing the engine into the car, and we were stopped dead in our tracks when we realized that the incorrect front case had been installed on the engine. Evidently, we aren't the only ones who missed the differences between the naturally aspirated and the turbo engines. We were relieved to be able to remove the front engine case without pulling the whole engine, and we were all kinds of excited to reach a point where we could finally start the engine.
Yeah, you've got very, very little pressure.
We remained persistent through what seemed to be an endless line of failed attempts to get the engine to start.
Well, that didn't work. So we did some research and found a wiring diagram. Well, that was better, but we're still not right. Next step, our ignition timing is not set up correctly.
And after going through everything we could think of, our hopes fizzled as we wondered what to do next. We were out of our skin excited to discover that priming the engine with automatic transmission fluid bumped the compression enough to get it to start. Just about lost it when we found oil spewing out of the rear of the engine.
Keep it up down here.
After an unwelcome project to drop the transmission and install the rear main seal in the engine, we were excited to try again. We were frustrated to see the coolant lines burst apart from high pressure, and feared there might be a bad seal from the combustion chamber to the coolant jacket. We were relieved to learn that the coolant lines were popping off due to overheating. Installing the fan shroud, and putting a cold water sprinkler on the radiator as an extra cooling measure finally put us in a place where the engine could sit and run. And here we are, the engine has finally ran more than just a couple of minutes or seconds at a time.
Knowing the car's not moving. Got a good looking seat in it, still covered in the plastic. Needs a little work in here. This is by far the longest this car has ran, like by far. think it's been sitting here idling for over an hour now. Roshi, go to first. Go into first and then into reverse. You gotta have somebody you can call if you get in trouble, right?
How far should I go?
It's up to you. I wouldn't go too far, but go somewhere that you can get it up to speed a little bit.
But of course we can't leave well enough alone, can we? As we were cleaning up, putting parts away, throwing things in the garbage, Bryson comes across a new downpipe, and it just had to go on. So we put the car back up in the air, took the old exhaust off, slipped on the new downpipe with a few wrenches and torches and grinders, put the whole thing back together, dropped the car back down to the ground onto terra firma, and of course, after a project like that, you have to see what the impact was. Does it sound different? Does it run any different? Does Bryson's face look any different? Put it on the ground, start it up, and drive off into the night.
Lights work. Let's see if your lights work. Oh, those are on. Got nothing in the back though. Tap your brakes. Yeah.
Brake lights work? Oh. Headlights work.
Careful. Whoa, brake lights. What?
Well, I feel like we're finally on the right track with this car, but it needs a lot of work. The engine needs to be broken in, the front bumper and marker lights are missing, the brakes are stiff, the clutch is soft, the power steering isn't hooked up, the heater core isn't installed, the electrical's a mess, the interior is in disarray. Man, the list just goes on. And now add to the list a broken camera. Yep, that just happened.
Uh-oh. That is not good. I'm gonna need a new lens. Sorry. Not my idea. Shoot. That is not good. You're gonna need a new camera. Fix the lens or something.